Hello everybody and welcome back to the Integrity Botanicals YouTube channel. Super exciting video today. I'm going to be running down the Antonym Cosmetics brushes. And if you guys didn't know, these are actually some of my favorite brushes, both aesthetically and use-wise. And you're going to see that all the brushes are dirty because I use them all the time and I really need to wash my brushes. So a little bit about the brushes before I get into each individual one. They're all made with sustainable bamboo handles. Gorgeous, like all the rest of their packaging. It's very cohesive and beautiful. And of course they are synthetic fibers. So these are vegan/cruelty-free brushes, of course, and they are made with Taklon fibers. I love Taklon fibers because these are so soft, truly some of the softest brushes that I have ever used. Love that little gradation as well. It's just, again, for an aesthetics thing. But synthetic brushes are antibacterial. They're much more hygienic than something like a natural hair brush because sort of like a natural hair, it's like a cuticle to it and it holds product and it can get really gross and it's a lot harder to clean. Synthetic brushes are super easy to clean. So what if I need to dig in the pan a little harder? I'll do it for the ease of use, but it's gorgeous. I love these brushes, love Taklon fibers, specifically the ones that they use here. These feel very luxurious. They have a little bit of a weight to them, not too heavy, but nice quality, you can definitely tell. So let's just go in order. First up is one of the best sellers and a great one to use with mineral foundation. And it comes in this sweet little pouch, which is very nice for traveling. This is the Antonym Kabuki brush, and the Kabuki brush is just the sweetest little thing. Has the bamboo handle as well, and it is a dense round brush, but it has some give to it, so if you want to use it in that sort of circular motion, I like to use this with my powder foundations, the Lily Lolo. This is great with. I'll be demoing, or I will have already demoed that for you guys so you could check it out on the channel, and I'll link it down below. These don't shed a lot either. You should wash your brushes when you first get them to sort of get that out of the way, but I never have sort of hairs all over my face. So that's the Kabuki brush. Next up is the number one. The number one is the powder brush, and it's quite large. You can see it in relation to my hand, but the number one is long. It has a lot of hair, so it's pretty dense, but it's long. So I could see why this would be good for sort of setting the face, nice and easy. Covers a large surface area, so it's really great for that. If you wanted to do a really wide bronzer or even a body bronze, this would be really nice for that as well. Next up, a very similar brush is the number two. This is the blush brush. Now, I think these are sort of interchangeable, just sort of depends. I have the next brush I would prefer for blush, but to each their own. It's still a fabulous brush. This one is both more narrow, less dense, and a little bit longer, I would say, as well. Maybe the same length, but I guess the thinness of it makes it seem a little bit longer. Now, that's not thin at all, trust me. It still has a nice density to it towards the top. It's sort of domed. It's really, really a cute little brush. This could be used for a number of things. Again, bronzer, blush, setting powder. Get creative. Just because it's labeled a certain brush doesn't mean that is what it has to be for. Love that brush as well. Probably one of my most used brushes is the number three, which they say is a contour brush. For me, that's a little thick for a contour brush, just given the nature of my face. You could definitely make it work, like a very subtle contour, or there's always the pinch the brush trick. You could always do that as well. But I personally love this for blush. I think it's just the perfect application. I like that sort of angled shape. I think it just sort of fits the cheek beautifully. But it's a great brush. Like I said, again, you could do bronzer, powder, blush with it, whatever you would like. So those are all the face brushes. Really nice variety there. Has a little bit of something for everybody, but moving on to the eyes. First up is the number 9, and the number 9 is a very loved brush of mine. It's the large pencil brush, I believe it is, and it has a nice pointed tip, but not too pointy, but you can see it has a nice tip there. Definitely has some definition. Very, very dense, so you can use this to really sort of apply that color precisely in the outer corner, or take it underneath the lash line. I love it for that too. Or you can dampen it, use it with a shadow in the inner corner. That's another great trick for it. But again, be creative. A pencil brush, you can smudge, line, whatever you want with it. I love, love, love the number 9. Then we have the number 10, which is the blending brush. And I think this brush is fabulous more for depositing color rather than blending, only because you could see that this is really a pretty dense brush. It doesn't have a lot of give to it, and it's quite narrow. It's not a very fluffy brush. So here's the 10 blending brush in comparison to Delium Tools. You can see that this is a lot harder and it's much shorter as well. So I like this to lay down color, and then I would blend it out with something like this. But I still think it's great. Another one you could take underneath the lower lash line if you like it quite low, which I like it nice and low. I want to look like an Olsen twin, if you know what I mean. Then we have another one of my favorites. This is the number 12. This is the small eye shader, and you can see just how delicate that is. Love using that with a wet powder shadow to really just get the lid, be very super precise. Again, you can take the inner corner underneath the lash line, but I love it for the eyelid. I highly recommend something like this. Delium Tools, Integrity Botanicals doesn't really carry a brush that small, so check that out if you have small eyelids, hooded eyelids. I do have slightly hooded eyes. I find that's very helpful, and it's good for sort of carving out the crease. And the most new one to me, but I think it's a very fabulous brush, is the number 13. This is small angled. We all love a small angled brush because you can use it in the brows. You could use it as liner, gel liner, that sort of faux liner, anything you want. But this again is super stiff. A little bit longer. It's not as stiff as like a Hint Beauty brush or the Hint Beauty brow brush, but more stiff than the Delium Tool 760. So it's a good in-between, but this would be great for the eyebrows. And of course, we all know I'm a fan of pressing a little bit of dark shadow into the root of the lash. Of course, it's good for that. And finally, we have the 18, which is the medium long eye shader. So you can see this is quite wide. I like to use this for something like Kjaer Weis Charmed if I want to sort of dust that right the way across the lid. You can see it's pretty dense, it's pretty short like the name implies, but it's really good. Again, I love brushes like this for the underneath of the lash line. I feel like I've mentioned that with all of them, but that's important to someone like me. I mean, you could even blend out the brow with this. You could do a whole lot with this brush. It's really good, but it covers a lot of surface area quick. So if you're a one eyeshadow over the lid kind of girl, that could be a great one for you. So that is it, you guys. Those are all the brushes that the Integrity Botanicals website carries. They are fabulous. I highly recommend. You know I love Antonym. And come on, just imagine a little collection of these. Isn't that just gorgeous? I think so. But thank you guys so much for watching as always. If you enjoyed this video and would like me to talk about some Delium Tools brushes, you know I adore them, then let me know in the comments down below. I love synthetic hair as well because they make for much more affordable brushes. But every single brush will be linked down below. If you have some questions on the brushes or you need a recommendation, holler at your girl in the comments. I always reply to you guys, every single one. And don't forget to check us out on social. That's always in the description box down below, as well as like nail polish I'm wearing. If you want me to start including makeup, let me know. I can do that too. Or just drop me a line like I said. But thank you guys so much for watching as always. You know I appreciate the love and support very much, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye!